gotta have standards, folks. My standard, 6 weeks. Once I was looking through an old desk drawer and I found a piece of paper with a guy's name and his phone number on it, and I realized he had been dead for 2 weeks. You know what I did? Put him in the book, waited 4 weeks, and then scratched it out. Now these days, a lot of people don't keep analog books anymore. They don't write that stuff out longhand. They're in the computer age. They have a computer application, probably called Address Book. Could be called Contacts or something like that. And they keep all the information in there and they sync it up with their phone every day or two. So now, instead of crossing out a name, you get to delete the file. And this is an even greater feeling of power than simply scratching out a name. You know how to delete someone. You highlight the name. Straight into the trash. If he's a real good friend of yours, you might not want to empty the trash for about 6 weeks. Or, if it's a little too harsh for you, if it's a little too harsh to be deleting an old friend, you can always create a new folder. A special folder for dead people. You keep it on your desktop. It's kind of a digital purgatory. Every now and then you can open it up and you can look inside and you can see the people in purgatory and you can move them around a little bit, you know. Put them in little groups, you know. 2 people who didn't get along in life, put them together over in the corner. Let them work it out in purgatory, you know. And then you can put them all in a big, big formation and have a parade. The purgatory parade with dead people. There's a lot of fun you can have with a computer, so enjoy your digital selves. Now, I have a special gift for you at this point. I'm going to give you 3 jokes. There are 3 jokes I'm giving to you as a public service. These are free from me, not my material, they're public domain. But everybody needs a few jokes at fingertips. You know, you got to have something on hand for social situations. These are regular jokes. Same kind of jokes people tell when they're hanging around down by the firehouse or down by the old mill stream or wherever the fuck it is people are hanging around these days. But these jokes are probably the most disgusting jokes I've ever heard. Definitely the most disgusting jokes I've ever told. But they are family jokes because they involve family members, so you can tell them to your family. Assuming, of course, you wish to start living alone. Now, this first joke isn't so much disgusting as it is, I would say, disrespectful to a certain group, and in today's climate would probably be considered politically incorrect. But it is a great joke. It takes place out on the back porch. Father and his son are out on the back porch. Can't get much more family-like than that, can you? They're out there on the back porch, and the father says to the boy, "Son, would you happen to have any questions for me about sex?" And the kid says, "Well, yeah, Dad. What is that hairy area down there on Mommy?" He says, "Oh, well, that's her vulva." "Oh, well, what's a cunt?" "That's the rest of Mommy." Good fucking joke, man. People who've been divorced more than twice really like that joke. And that joke has one of the requirements for any good joke: economy of language. You have to keep the wording simple. You can't be crowding up with a lot of excess verbiage. You keep it lean and spare, and you get in there, and you just head for the finish line. So that one certainly meets the criteria. Now, this next joke, for this joke we're back to disgusting again. This joke is definitely disgusting. In fact, this joke is vile. Vile is a nice word. You don't get to say it too often in conversation. It's mostly a word you read, but this joke definitely qualifies as vile. This joke crosses lines, which is exactly what it's intended to do. So you are forewarned. Now for this joke, we're going to switch sexes, okay? I don't say genders. I don't say gender. That's a linguistic term, belongs in the classroom. It's got nothing to do with reproduction. I call them what they are, the 2 sexes. That's what we have, 2 sexes. So I'm going to talk about the opposite sex. This joke is about a little girl. This joke will disturb some of you. which is exactly what it's intended to do. This time it's a little girl and she's in the bathroom when her father steps out of the shower and she says, Daddy, Daddy, when am I going to get a penis? As soon as Mommy leaves for work. Good fucking joke. Some people like to moan and groan when they hear a joke like that. That's because they want you to think they're better people than they really are. They're full of shit, they don't fool me. They'll be telling that joke by midnight. Yeah, on fucking TV. And that joke, besides having the requisite economy of language, also has another important property of any good joke, and that is the surprise element is a good one. Every joke needs a surprise, obviously, right? Or it wouldn't be a joke. In this joke, you almost think you can see the surprise coming, don't you? You kind of think you know what it's going to be. When you hear the little girl do the setup line, when am I going to get a penis? But what you didn't know was that Mommy had a job. And that's the surprise element. Now, this next joke goes beyond disgusting and vile, all the way to the world of what I would call nauseating. This joke is a stomach turner. If you have a delicate digestive system, this joke may very well fuck with dinner, and maybe even lunch. But it is a great joke. For this one, this joke comes in the form of a question, which I think would please Alex Trebek if he were here tonight. I understand he couldn't make it. He's home working on Bodies of Water for 500. But this joke also evokes a certain regional American prejudice and stereotype. How does the Ozark hillbilly girl know that her mother is having her period when her brother's dick tastes funny? Same people moaning and groaning. They'll be on the cell phone before they're in the parking lot. And you know what I like about that joke? It makes you think. It makes you think, because there comes a point in that joke where you actually have to stop and figure out the relationships. Let's see, she's blowing Jimmy's fucking, yeah. The audience gets to be in on the fun. I always like it when the audience is in on the fun. A little dry here, pardon me for a moment. Now, I'm going to switch our tenor of the tone of the show here for just a second. I want to tell you about a bumper sticker I saw recently that I still haven't figured out, okay? And what I want to tell you about myself is that I'm something of a student of bumper stickers. You know, I kind of enjoy looking for good ones. There aren't many good ones at all. They're great. The good ones are greatly outnumbered by the sappy ones. I really dislike the left-wing, kind of new age, sappy-ass, liberal, sort of warm and fuzzy ones. You know, think peace, begin within. You know, it's kind of psycho-spiritual pretentiousness. Here's another one that you'll see on their kind of cars. Usually it's a fucking Volvo or some shit. This is what it says. Think globally, act locally. Jerk me off. It's just pretentiousness, it's bullshit. Here's another one they have. War is not the answer. Every time I see that one I think, well, what's the fucking question? Do you have a question that goes with it? Let me know, I want to help, you know? There are two I've seen that I like. That's not many, because I want to get to another story I want to tell you about bumper stickers, but this is kind of in a preface kind of form. There's one I see, this does not get a big laugh, but it's a wonderful mind twister. It's directed toward overzealous Christians. which I believe is a redundant phrase. But this one is precious, but it's not a big laugh getter. It says, if you don't pray in our schools, we won't think in your churches. It's just a wonderful fucking thought. And it gives it to those people right where the fuck they need it, you know? Right where the fuck they need it. Now this other one goes back to, first started appearing on American highways in early 2001, just after George Bush had been installed